Hello, everybody. Welcome to another exciting episode of Jimmy's JamBox. We're here. We're back at it again, and we're going to get on into it. But before we do, as always, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. With that being said, here's a quick word from our sponsor. Pumpkin Spice, an all-new take on a classic chai. Robust and seasonal with organic black tea, ginger, nutmeg, allspice, and real pumpkin. The Brothers Apothecary. Fine teas and remedies. All right, thank you all so much for watching again. Shout out The Brothers Apothecary. Make sure to click the link below and go check them out. Guarantee you're going to like it. But with that being said, let's go ahead and get on into it. Here is today's guest.
Hey, what's good, man? I'm BBN Bosko.
Hello. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me on, man.
Yeah. Why don't you tell us a little bit about, where you're from, what you do, give us that Tinder profile of your involvement with music.
All right, we rolling like that. Okay. So, my name is BBN Bosko. I grew up here in Vancouver, Washington. I'm a rapper out here.
Mm-hmm.
The former genre I would say I'm closest to is like the Sacramento scene, the whole EBK thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. What got you into music initially?
Oh man, me and my friends would like freestyle in class.
Mm-hmm.
Like I had this homeboy, his name's Acoustic Yo, we call him EK, and we would just be in class and he would like tap his hand on the desk and me and the homies would just like spit in class.
Oh yeah.
It was a vibe. It was a boring class, so it was a vibe, man. You feel me?
No, I feel that.
Yeah.
And did you ever get into any instruments, or have you always just been rapping?
Bro, a lot of people don't know. When I was in middle school, I played the viola.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Big viola boy.
Hell yeah.
Even though it was like...
It just looked like a violin on you.
Smaller violin.
Yeah.
The viola's a little smaller.
Oh, right. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Oh, world's smallest fiddle.
Yeah, pretty much, man. Pretty much. It was alright. I didn't really like playing it. I didn't have the attention span for it, but it was dope.
That's fair. Some instruments are hard to sit with, especially the violin style, bow stringed instruments, until you get that finesse.
Yeah.
It just doesn't, it's not as enjoyable.
Yeah, nah. And I was wrong. I was elementary school. It wasn't even middle school.
Oh, damn.
It was elementary school. It was like 5th grade.
Oh, yeah. So that's going to be even tougher.
Oh, real. No attention span, man.
No, dude, I couldn't do it. My dad tried to get me to do piano when I was a kid, and I was just like...
Bro, I was in 5th grade, and you're just handing a 10-year-old, 10, 11-year-old, a couple $100 piece of equipment. I'm like, oh, man, I'm kind of scared holding this, bro.
Yeah. Violins are durable.
Yeah.
Violas. The instrument itself.
Yeah.
I have a violin that's from Berlin before the wall fell.
Oh, word.
It can last that long.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, but that's neither here nor there. Let's get back into you.
Yes, sir.
And this next question, it's definitely a foundation one, but it's one we ask early, it's one we ask often, and it's definitely a crowd favorite. What was the first album you ever bought with your own money?
Ooh, that's a good one. So... I'm a little younger, so our generation didn't really have a whole lot of CDs. It was around the time where CDs starting to die. And my family was super against buying music. They didn't feel like, you should have to pay for music type thing. So when we could afford such things, I begged my dad for Slim Shady LP. I was a super huge old school hip hop fan, whether it was Biggie, Tupac, Eminem. I begged him to pay that 99 cents for Slim Shady LP. I'm like, Dad, I do not care. You could take away my video games for this week, man. I want the Slim Shady LP, you feel me?
Oh, yeah.
And I play that shit on repeat 24/7, 365,
yep.
366 on the leap year, you feel me? But it was dope. It was dope.
Hell yeah. Fun fact, Eminem is definitely 50% of the early music answers.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, now I don't even feel unique anymore.
No, I mean if anything, I think it's just a cool testament to how influential he really was.
Mm-hmm.
And then what was the first live show you ever went to? That was one you wanted to go to.
Mm-hmm. So when I was younger, I couldn't like really afford to like go to shows and stuff.
Mhm.
So when I had the money, me and my homeboy ET, we went to go see Yeet. Do you know who Yeet is?
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to go see Yeet, and we ended up getting Pit. We got Pit.
Mhm.
It was like my first like concert experience. Do I recommend people going to Pit for the first concert experience? No, you feel me?
Yeah, I mean,
Not the best decision. Your boy was hyperventilating, get a little anxious. You feel me? I don't like crowds, but
that's
the
fair.
vibe was great, man. You know, I wouldn't necessarily say a huge fan of Yeet, but the vibes were amazing. The music was great. Overall, great vibe. 10 out of 10 would do again. You feel me?
Oh yeah. There's definitely something to be said about live music in general, but I won't get into that one now, or we'll be going on forever.
No, real.
And then lastly, do you have a moment that like was the moment you decided music was like the thing you wanted to do?
Freestyling in the back of a school bus. When your homies who are like really big haters of like, not necessarily haters, but like super critical on like how people act type of thing, and you see them getting like hype in the back of the bus when you're doing a freestyle, it hits you different. So I was like, all right, I think I'm gonna go towards this.
Oh yeah.
Because like originally I was a basketball player. I wasn't like I wanted to pursue music, but I was just better at basketball. You know,
Yeah.
I'm 6'10". You feel me? Like basketball was the move. But I'm like, you know what? I'm pretty good at this music thing. You know, I'm pretty good at this whole music thing. I would like to think so. Like I pursued that, and it worked out.
Oh yeah.
It's working out.
Yeah.
Working.
I mean, it's the journey, not the destination, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, real.
Hell yeah. All right, well, let's go ahead and let's move on into you as the current artist, the modern day, the now.
All right.
And I mean, we're going to get a super easy one out of the way. How'd you pick the name?
So I used to hang out with a certain group of people, and they were like, you know, you a big ass dude. You're like Costco, man. And I'm like, oh, you saying that because I'm bulk? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, all right, that's dope. And they're like, you know, replace that C to be your Bosco, you know, your Bosco. And BBN, me and my homeboy EK camp on ourselves, you know, big by nature. Giant individual, you feel me?
Yeah.
Larger than life, Titan things.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, I appreciate that. And then let's talk about your writing process.
Yeah.
And I want to break it down into parts, but we're going to start right at the beginning.
Okay.
So when you get inspired, you are ready to make music. What are some of the things you do to start a track?
So there's two ways that could go. One, it started off as a freestyle and someone just happened to be recording and I write it down and continue after. Or two, I'm just sitting down, you know, on my thoughts type thing, and I'm like writing stuff together because I don't like write it word for word. Like as the song goes along, I write pieces.
Yeah.
Like put them together. I'm like, oh shit, that's hard. I'm gonna put that in there. Or like, oh, that's kind of weak. I'm taking that out. You know, I can't put that in there.
Yeah.
But that's usually how that goes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then once you get a track finished, how long does it take you to usually feel comfortable performing it?
It truly depends how I feel about the track because, you know, performing live and releasing are a little different.
Yeah.
So, like, performing live-wise, I would say, like, read it a couple of times, make sure I'm, like, comfortable with, like, the lyrics and stuff and how I amplify my sound or, like, make sure, you know, I don't know how to say this, like, the timing of certain parts of the beat, how I'm going in on it. It all just depends. But I would say just read it a couple of times, make sure I memorize it, that I'm in there.
Okay. So it doesn't take you super long to get
No, not at all.
Oh, yeah. And then looking back on 2023, since we're still so close to it, how did your process change during that time?
I wouldn't necessarily say it changed a whole lot, but thinking about it did. Like thinking about what people want to listen to, like changed the process. But process relatively remains the same. You know, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah.
But it's the way I went about it.
Okay.
It's like a little different, just thought process.
Yeah, it's a little more of a mindset change versus like a technique
100%.
or approach change.
We writing things.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I could appreciate that. And then looking at your current music. So we'll say, you know, we'll definitely talk on, you know, Wondering, your newest single that just came out and things like that. What are some elements of your current sound that you enjoy?
Like current elements?
Yeah. So like, you know, like I like, you know, my approach on this, or I like the general sound I've been leaning towards on that, like the characteristics of your sound.
The flow, man. the flow. Because people are, mostly going to listen to the beat when the song first goes on. So that's first thing. And you go in the flow and it just mixes in with the beat and it's perfect. And then everyone listens to the words after. So flow. It's important. So yeah, flow.
Oh yeah. And then let's look at the most current track, Wonderin'. Tell us a little bit about your approach on that. I noticed personally, I felt that it had definitely a little bit of a different sound from some of the stuff kind of right before it, but I really liked it. It felt really full. It felt really like comfortable and kind of had this almost natural bounce to it the whole time. So I mean, as far as flow being the focus, you clearly nailed it with that one. But what can you tell us about the track?
So it actually started off as a freestyle. Like me and the homies were outside a gas station in Ridgefield, Washington, and we had met up with his friends, and all his friends were music folk, and they all started spinning. We looped the beat back, and I punched in on a sentence. I'm like, oh, I'm going in with this, and I just kept coming up rhyme after rhyme after rhyme, and I completely forgot about it the next day. I didn't know anyone recorded it. I was kind of bummed that I forgot all these lyrics.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. And then his homeboy found me on Snap and sent me the video. And I'm like, yo, this is working out.
Did it, yeah.
And then I wrote what I said down because it wasn't a large video. It was like in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, all right, what can I do to fill this in? I just filled it in, kept it in my little notes on the phone. And like months later, like almost a year later, I fucking recorded it. And it did well.
Hell yeah. Yeah, like I said, it's definitely a vibe.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I was on my Biggie things. You feel me?
Definitely. We've talked a lot about your experience with music, the actions, the reactions, and things like that. But when it's just you and the music one-on-one, what does the music get back to you?
What do you mean?
So, what do you gain from music? What does it give to you?
Oh, man, people just enjoying it. Like, when I see the faces on people when they listen to the music, be like, he's from the same place I am. Look at him. And they're all just happy about the music. It makes me feel good. It makes me want to make music because I see the smile on these people's faces. And, I'm not saying all my tracks are positive tracks, you feel me?
Yeah.
But, like, just seeing the smile on the face, seeing them get jiggy with it, you feel me? It's a good feeling. It makes me want to do it.
Hell yeah.
Like, I do it for the people.
That's the fun part. I think sharing music with people is important.
And I enjoy making it, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you have a good time with it and you want to share it with other people, why wouldn't you want them to enjoy it?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And like you said, like earlier before we start recording about how you make music and stuff, you know how studio sessions go. Like 99% of it is bullshitting. I ain't even gonna lie to you. Like a good 90% of the portion is bullshitting and the other 10% is recording. So even if we're not recording or in the studio session, making like it's part of the music making process, even the bullshitting.
Yeah.
And it's a fun process and I enjoy it, It's part of the music. I enjoy making it and people enjoy listening to it. So it all just intertwines and it works out.
Yeah, exactly. No, I've never been in a space where I'm like, all right, we're 2 minutes in, let's get started.
No,
and at the end of it, we're like, we've got 2 minutes left. Do we want to talk about anything? Like I think the in-between is important.
Very.
I think you never know when you're going to come up with that idea. Hell yeah.
And then like wondering how you feel about your track that you just recorded. Like, do you want to redo it? How did you punch in on it?
Exactly.
Were you louder or quieter than the beat?
And sometimes you just have to step away from it for a second. Like, I used to do music with my old singer. So like he started his own solo project and I was helping him put together an album. And we would be working on stuff for like 4 or 5 hours, but we purposely in the middle of the session would go and do a walk around the block. Like we would turn stuff off. We'd open up the doors and the windows, get some space in there, and it wasn't a huge block, but like physically get outside in the sun, out of the room, talk about anything but the music, and just kind of take a break. And we were able to come back and get so much more work done in the second half. But we had to stop doing the work after we had started doing the work to get work done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that's just little bit for me, but let's get back into you now for the last question of this middle portion. What is your goal with music?
So it's a lot to think about.
Yeah,
and that is a lot to think about. But I feel like I have a similar end goal to what everyone else does. Like maybe just Just get up there, climbing ladders. You feel me? Just climbing ladders.
Yeah.
Put the city on the map in a way.
Oh yeah. Do you see yourself like doing like big tours full time? Do you ever want to like get into some other crafts? Like, do you like when you say put the city, like, do you want to like make Vancouver a known place for your style of music?
Oh, 100%, man. And I want people to know we're not fucking Canada. First off, man. We're
Oh my
goddamn
God,
Vancouver.
don't even get me started
We're
on
not
that.
Canada.
I had so many people from Seattle after the last trip that were like, "Yo, can I get on it?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm all the way in Vancouver." They're like, "Oh, that's only like X amount of minutes away." I'm like,
Outside Portland.
"Yeah," I was like, "South, not north." Sorry. Yeah.
See, that's the other issue. We're always associated with Portland. Like, I love Portland. Don't get me wrong. I love Portland. Food trucks, amazing out there. And look at me. I love food trucks, bro. But it's like we're our own city, man. Like the people are generally the same. You know, the vibes are very similar.
Yeah.
But we're our own thing, you know?
I think more what it comes down to is that, I mean, sales tax. We'll just put that on the board.
Yeah.
That's where all the venues are.
Oh, yeah.
So like when people are traveling, they're like, would I stop in this city, one city above the city where all the other things are?
Music's going on.
Yeah. So really, I think it's this, that Portland has made itself a port.
Oh, real.
city.
Yeah, and Portland's a great place to perform. I enjoy performing there when I do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, all the venues are established there, but there's definitely some spots popping up here now. It's just a little bit out of the way. Yeah. It's a little bit out of the way, and that's the unfortunate part. Even Vancouver to Portland people seems like to be a little bit out of the way, even though it's the same distance for Vancouver to go to Portland. But
Not real. But Portland's massive, man.
Yeah, there's so much to do, and even like
you'd be driving for an hour and still be in Portland.
Yeah. Well, that, and you don't have to go far if you're in like downtown proper to like be able to do everything.
Not
you can
real.
do anything in downtown Portland within like minutes of walking.
Real. Shout out Chinatown, man.
Oh yeah. But let's go ahead and let's move on to this next portion. And for this, these are all hypothetical questions. So the questions are all made up and the answers can be too. And for this first one, if you could work with anybody, the only requirement is they have to be alive, but you can work with anybody. Who would you want to work with, and how would you want to work with them?
Like the area doesn't matter. It's like
like literally, if they were alive currently, you can work with them.
Oh, either EBK Jabo or EBK Young Jock. They're rappers out of the Stockton scene. They do a similar genre that I do. You could call it the same genre, which it kind of is. Yeah. But those are the artists I'd want to work with.
Oh, yeah. And how would you want to work with them?
Oh, collab on a song, man.
Okay. Hell yeah.
That's the way.
Hell yeah. And then subsequently, who's a local artist that you're aware of, but you haven't gotten to connect with yet, but you would like to?
I want to say I've connected with pretty much every artist in the area that's pretty known. Yeah. But like an artist I like working with though, like I don't mean to divert from your question. Or
yeah, no, you're fine.
Add on to it.
Yeah.
E.T. the Prophet and Nolo.
Oh, hell yeah.
Those two are my favorite working with for sure. Like Nolo, he's a kid, but he's got talent, bro.
Yeah.
Talented young kid, bro. Young man. And he's doing his thing. Oh, yeah. Even E.T., you just got to meet E.T. a minute ago.
Yeah, he'll be on a later episode.
Yeah, he's super talented. He's great lyricist. And I enjoy working with both of them.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And then for this next one, like I said before, sky's the limits. But if you could perform anywhere in the world, and you wouldn't have to worry about crowd access, building stability, power, guaranteed best lineup, guaranteed best show, it doesn't have to be a venue. Where would you want to perform?
All right, I got 3 for you.
Go for it.
1 would either be Moda Center. I'm raised out here, man. Everyone wants to perform in Moda. 2, MGM Grand. I was born in Las Vegas, and that's just one spot I'd love to perform.
Hell yeah.
Is MGM. And then 3, what's that stadium in New York called? Madison Square Garden.
Yep.
That's the big stage to perform is Madison Square.
That actually, that spot has definitely been brought up on the show a few times, and it's definitely talked about just in general. It's such an iconic space.
Like J. Cole, his first time going on there, he was like sitting on, like squatting on stage, just looking at the crowd, tear to his eyes type thing, being like, damn, I'm performing in Madison Square.
How do you like take that? I mean, first of all, 360-degree stage. Yeah. I'll never fathom that. Yeah. Like I've said on previous episodes that like I would love to do an episode of the show on the stage there. I don't even know how. I would, you know what I mean? Like,
how would you even do that? The crowd, bro.
Yeah, dude, just knowing there's like people all the way around you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's bamboozling.
Hella.
But also, it's crazy to know that you can look like every direction and like see people. You know what I mean? There's never a bad spot to stand while you're performing. And that's kind of a weird one, you know what I mean? Like knowing that behind you is more space to go perform.
Yeah.
Instead of never turning your back.
You're not facing like one section of a crowd when you have a whole 360. You gotta focus on everybody.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be wild. But definitely a solid choice. And then to wrap up the hypothetical questions, if you could get one more album from anybody, they could be alive, they could be dead, they could have just put out an album yesterday, they could have put out an album 100 years ago, who would you want an album from?
Briss, Tricky Dance Moves himself from Sacramento, California. Rest in peace.
Hell yeah.
But Briss, 100%. I got a lot of my inspiration from this Sacramento music from him.
Hell yeah.
So it would be dope to like have something with him or just hear another album.
No, I feel that for sure. All right, we're going to go ahead and start wrapping this up. Why don't you tell us what we can look forward to the first half of 2024?
You know, I got a little club banger called Ben Dover. It's a hard track, you know. It's shake your junk music, you feel me?
Oh, yeah.
A whole lot of shake your junk music. And just expect me to ball out 2024, man. I know a lot of people say, oh, this is my year type stuff. Last year was my year, and I'm cool with that. We're going to keep taking that same energy and rolling it back, you feel me?
Hell yeah.
We're going to make 2024 like it was 23. You know, it's my Kobe year, you feel me? 2024.
Hell yeah.
So we're going to ball like Kobe, keep that Mamba mentality, you feel me?
Hell yeah. I love that. And then for this next one, go ahead and look straight at the camera and tell everybody how they can find you.
You can find me on Instagram, bbn.bosco21. You can find me on every major music platform at BBN Bosko. Keep it real. 360 Vancouver represent, you feel me?
Hell yeah. And then any other plugs, any other shout outs, anybody else you want to put on while you're on here?
Yeah, hey, shout out to all my peeps in Vancouver, you feel me? Shout out moms, I love you. And shout out my manager ET, bro. Realest man on meat, bro. Realest man on meat.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And then definitely make sure to check out his episode. It should be coming out soon. All right, now we've got one last question to go.
All right.
But before we do, I'm going to steal the camera for just a second.
Take that.
As always, y'all, please make sure to like, subscribe, push all the buttons, do all the things. You know, I don't know where they are, but you do, and I trust you. And one more shout out to the brothers Apothecary. Make sure to click the link below. Go check them out. Guarantee you're going to like something. But with that being said, the final question. And this is entirely up to your interpretation.
Okay.
But what is an album you feel is more on the obscure side? So it's not one a lot of people know, but it's one you think everybody should know.
2142 by Briss and G-Man.
Hell yeah.
Great album. Chuck Liddell. Slapper. To all my people from California, you know what I'm talking about. Slapper.
Hell yeah.
Straight slapper.
No, I support that. That's a great choice.
And it's not even one of his most popular, like any of his popular albums, but it's a great one.
You know, the deep cuts, I feel like, especially for certain albums, they're always like the ones where you're like, oh, this was the, yeah.
Yeah, like people usually pay attention to his songs, you know, like Panhandling or like Need Hammy, but that album 2142 was just,
hell yeah.
It was there.
Hell yeah. Well, after you go check out his music, definitely make sure to go check that out as well. But all right, we're going to go ahead and get up on out of here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, thank you for having me, man. It's an honor to be on here, man.
Yeah, I
really appreciate it.
Yeah. This has been another exciting episode of Jimmy's JamBox. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Bosco.
And we're signing off. Later, y'all.
That's a wrap.
This is not a podcast. This is a show.
Keep jamming.